Tennessee?
Yeah, outside of Nashville somewhere.
Okay.
Nashville.
Outside of
Yeah,
Nashville.
somewhere outside of
I call
Nashville.
it is it Boardwalk? I think they call the road Boardwalk. Broadway, Boardwalk.
Maybe Broadway?
It could be Broadway.
I don't know.
The main road. Like if you get on it, you keep straight, it runs you right into the damn river, basically.
Yeah. I don't remember the. Anyways, I've hung out down there a couple of times and what have you. Know, back when I was drinking a little bit more than I do now.
Okay.
My wife's company that she worked for used to have season passes for the Titans football. Like there were good passes if you're a football person. You know, like 3 rows back on the 20-yard line, something like that. I mean, it was you were right there.
Right.
You know, but I don't like football.
That's the high society.
I guess, man, it's a bunch of drunk people slinging their shirts around, yelling, you know, fucking $20 for a beer. I just, you know,
that's crazy.
It's just not my scene. If you like it, I'm sure it's great. But anyway, she drugged me up there one time. She got passes like, I don't know, often.
Okay.
A couple times a year at least.
Who was she working for?
Domino's.
Ooh, Domino's.
Yeah, Domino's Pizza. That was back when it was owned by Tony Osani. Shout out Tony Osani.
Shout out Tony Osani.
He was good people, yeah.
Domino's.
Yeah. He used to have a Christmas party at his house.
Uh-huh.
And everybody would just get fucked up.
You would go?
Yeah, I was Jessica's plus one. It was a Christmas party for his company.
When you say it was owned by this guy, he's the owner of whatever local franchise.
Correct.
Not the CEO
yeah,
of
no,
all
that's a corporation now.
Okay,
no,
okay.
No,
He's
he
owner of that
owns
franchise.
The local franchise,
okay.
And they had maybe 30 stores or something. I don't know.
Man.
You know, it was he was doing okay.
I like know what his bank.
But he was a super nice guy.
Uh-huh.
We went to see Rodney Carrington, the comedian, one time. Jessica and I did. And I went out to get a shot from the bar, like at intermission
Shot
or whatever.
Of tequila?
No, I think I was
whiskey?
drinking Jack this night. Yeah,
Okay.
I was probably drinking Jack that night.
Jack.
Matter of fact, I know I was drinking Jack.
27. What number of Jack? Don't Jack put the numbers on the bottle? What is it? A 27 on the bottle of Jack? What's on the bottle?
I don't think so.
What's
Old number 9, isn't it?
Is it number 9 or
Jack
27?
Daniels, old number 9, or is it 27?
I think it's 27. Shane. Don't whatever.
It's been a while.
Hey,
you know what? When I drink Jack, I drink Gentleman Jack.
Okay.
Or now I drink,
That's
if I can
'cause you
find it,
are
Uncle Nearest.
A gentleman.
Well, I do my best to impersonate one. Anyways.
You're a gentleman and a scholar. You hear anybody ever called you that?
No, sir.
You're a gentleman and a scholar. I was like, where did that shit come from?
Only derisively, that's for sure. Derisively.
My lips just twisted.
It's just because it's cold outside.
I can't eat.
Anyways, I go out.
I
I asked for a double shot of Jack, and they gave me 2 shots in separate cups. I just wanted a double Jack, right?
Okay.
But
you
they
wanted
gave
your
me,
cup full. They gave you half.
They gave
or
me
half empty or half full.
whatever it is. Yeah, just a shot in each cup, right? So now I look like a lush because I stepped over to the bar. I was just going to take a shot real quick and go back into my seat. A lush, a person drinks too much.
I'm trying to keep
the
up
town
with the
drunk.
story, Shay, but you speaking,
Would you stop interrupting?
Speaking on the mood right now. He's out of space with these words. Pontificating, diversively, whatever he said. Lushing.
I can't read that, though, man. I can say it derisively, yeah.
Who?
Expressing contempt or ridicule.
Yeah. See, I would have just said contempt or ridicule. You put them together. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, man.
Continue.
Now I forgot the story.
You looking
Double
like a
shot
lush.
of
You
Jack.
got
I got a
double
shot of-
fisting shots.
Double
of Jack.
fisting.
You double fisting shots
of Jack, and I take the first one.
See, that's how I would have worded it.
And I drink it neat.
I'm double fisting.
I'm double fisting my Jack.
He said lush. Okay.
Well, I did look like a lush, double fisting my Jack. So, anyways, I drink the first one neat. Take a breath, then take the other one neat, right? And I put the 2 cups together and set them back on the bar, and I turn to go back to my seat, and I'm face to face with the owner of the company that Jessica works for, and he and everybody else.
As soon as you turn around at the bar.
As soon as I turn around, there he is at the bar, and everybody in line has just seen me take both of these shots neat and turn around and walk away, and he just looked at me and smiles. He goes, "That's the way to drink it." I said, "Thank you, sir," and walked back in. Yeah,
Thank you,
never
sir.
was ever brought up before. Yeah.
Wow.
No, he's a good dude, Tony Osani.
Is it Huntsville local?
Yeah, he doesn't own them anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he sold out.
He's been bought out, huh?
Yeah, he retired, and he ran them for a long time, 30 years or, long time.
Wow.
Yep, and it's not the same as it, I don't know. It's a couple of dudes from South America that, yeah.
South America.
We tell some of those stories off the air, maybe.
Okay.
There's a couple of those I don't want to, I don't want to speak derisively of anybody. if I can help it. And so I'll just say that I'm glad that Jessica doesn't work there anymore.
Shade the brain. Strikes again. You never cease to amaze me.
Oh, man.
If I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. The
Are we even
most
close to live?
intellectual man I know.
You know, I was thinking about that the other day.
Really?
How you always call me that, right?
The most intellectual man I know?
And I was thinking about something. There's a big difference between...
Uh-oh, he done got to thinking.
I know, right? That's the scary shit.
We about to hear something.
There's a big difference between intellectual and intelligent.
It is.
Intellectual means you can play the game. Intelligent means you can come up with the answers. Maybe.
I kind of think they go, you got to be kind of intelligent to be intellectual too, though. There's no dumbasses out there that's intellectual.
I think probably not dumbasses necessarily, but I don't know about above average intelligence. Like I think I'm probably right in the middle somewhere. I don't feel like I do know some words.
Who we comparing you to.
But, well, that's a good point. What about Derek Bierry from Vice Grip Garage? Do you think I'm more or less intelligent than him?
Vice Grip, he be making up shit. You definitely way
shit,
more intellectual. I'm not saying intelligent.
Oh, okay.
He be making up shit.
He does make up.
He be making up words. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's so funny, man. Listen, I saw him.
That fuel make it happener. He be saying shit like that, you know.
I saw him. He's building this Chevy Nova that he's giving away on his website. That green one.
Yeah, I've seen it.
That's badass.
That is a badass.
I would love to have that. Man, he put the LS1 in it.
Yeah.
So he was putting the trim around the gear shift on the inside, and he had to get him a rubber mallet to pound it down. And you know what he called it?
No.
The Tanya Harding 2000. And then he starts beating the shit out of the thing with it. I'm like, that's cold right there. That is cold, cold.
Harding, man. She was on top for a while.
Tanya Harding 2000. And then as he was hitting, he was like, knee, shin bone. As he was hitting man, that was some, there he is right there. Mr. Producer Man's got him up there.
Vice Grip Garage. Shout out Vice Grip. You know he's up in Tennessee.
I know.
Man, how cool would it be to have him come on the show?
He did something.
And shout us out and push us. Like, dude, I could probably afford the gas money to get him here.
Oh,
from Tennessee.
Dude, we'll put him up in the Westin.
And put you up in the Westin to come on our show.
Or somewhere nicer. Look, we'll find a private.
Get out to him.
Man,
he's probably not even 2 hours away from us.
I bet you there's 1 million people though. It's like
that wants him on their show. Yeah,
it'd be hard. I've been thinking about Theo Vaughn. Like, what would it take to get us on Theo Vaughn? He's in Nashville.
We got a better chance of getting Vice Grip Garage than Theo Vaughn, I think.
Who you think's got more subscribers? Vice Grip Garage or Theo Vaughn?
Vice Grip Garage got some subscribers.
He got a lot, man. He's got a lot.
Theo Vaughn's definitely a bigger name, I would say.
For sure.
I couldn't say who has the most subscribers.
Theo Vaughn interviewed the president. Never mind. It's got to be.
Whoa.
It's got to be Theo Vaughn.
2.1 Vice Grip.
Vice Grip's got 2.1
million subscribers.
Theo Vaughn's got more than that. He interviewed the president. And the vice president.
I thought.
How much?
3.3.
3.3.
Close.
I mean,
man,
that's not that far off. That's pretty impressive.
Right.
Okay.
Man.
3.3 million subscribers.
We're going to be there one day.
2.1 million on Vice Grip Garage, though.
How about one day we sit back and talk about, man, how many subscribers we got today?
We're going to get people calling us, be like, hey, will you shout us out on your podcast?
Shout us out on your podcast.
We need to
help.
And
I think we got to revisit something like this to say, okay, we got to stay humble enough.
I think we got to do that. Yeah. When we get to 1 million subscribers, if we don't reset and start shouting out people who are less than us,
right?
Then we're assholes.
Because we wouldn't even be there.
We wouldn't.
You really won't. You won't even be there if it wasn't for the people who don't have 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Shout out my future 1 million subscribers.
Shout out all of our future subscribers.
Billions of subscribers.
And our current hundreds.
And our current tens.
However many. We appreciate all of you.
Yeah.
We hope you appreciate us.
Right.
Hey, we've been recording for a while and haven't done an intro.
We gained a new subscriber today. Okay, let's get this show on the road. Okay.
We probably should. We might
start
have some stories to tell.
I got some. I'm anxious about this show. I guess because it's been like 2 weeks.
It has
been 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting here jumping at the bit, my knees shaking. I can't stop moving.
This really is therapy for us. People don't misunderestimate. I think I made that word
the
up.
The power of sitting down and just having a conversation with someone.
Part of it, I think, is saying whatever crazy shit's going on in our heads.
Mm-hmm.
We can say it out loud and then see by the reaction, like, okay, never mind. I didn't mean it like, no.
Edit that out, Mr. Producer, man.
But it's good to bounce your ideas off of somebody else. You can't let the crazy in your own head keep spinning too much,
Right. And like I said, this is organic. I guess let's just do an introduction. I'm Q the Messenger. I'm sitting here with Shane the Brain. We got our producer, man, Kevin Boss Man Richardson.
Mr. Boss Man.
And this is Vendor Chronicles, where the truth is stranger than fiction. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages,
strap in tight. Hold on.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Hey, that was pretty good right there.
That go introduction for
That's
you.
it right there.
We back.
All right.
You ever seen that movie with Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, I saw a lot of those.
I want to say it was Coming to America. He gives the cash to the old white bum sitting on the corner, and he looks at him. He says, Mortimer, we're back. It was the guys from Trading Spaces. Remember, they went broke. They on the streets. There's some bums on the streets.
I don't remember that part.
And Eddie Murphy throws him the cash.
Did you see the second Coming to America?
Yeah.
Was it? I haven't seen.
Wesley Snipes.
Was it Wesley Snipes?
It was Wesley Snipes.
He was in the first one, wasn't he?
No, Arsenio.
Arsenio was the sidekick, but wasn't Wesley Snipes something in the first one?
No.
Okay.
Wesley Snipes wasn't in the first one. This one had Wesley. Was Wesley Snipes in the first one? I don't think so. No, you had Cuba Gooding Jr. He was the one sitting in the damn chair getting his hair cut.
Oh yeah, that's right. Cuba Gooding Jr. was in that.
Yeah. I don't think Snipes was in the first one. Snipes was.
I miss Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio Hall.
Yeah, I miss Arsenio.
But we're back. That's what I said all that to say. We're back.
After a 2-week hiatus.
We're back.
Well, Q, let me ask you, man.
Go ahead.
Has anything interesting happened to you in the last 2 weeks?
Oh, man. Just a few things.
Just a few things. Okay.
Had a healthy baby boy. Let's just go on and put it out there.
Put it out there. Welcome to the world.
Welcome to the world.
I'll let you introduce him.
He was 6 pounds, 6 ounces, 19 inches, and was born at 1:07 p.m.
1:07 p.m.
1:07 p.m.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much.
Congratulations, Cynthia. Shout out the whole Darden family.
She's a trooper.
How's she doing?
She's doing pretty good. I told her she got 2 weeks before it's time to get back to work. I was like, this ain't no corporation. You don't get 6 weeks of maternity here. You got 2. I'm giving you, I said 10 business days.
10 business days.
10 business days. I need you back on that truck.
Wow.
Yeah, but she's doing very good. I told her I'd give her Employee of the Month if she can make it back in 2 weeks.
Okay. All right.
Get her a plaque and everything. But my son, he goes by Ezra Kwame Darden.
Ezra Kwame Darden.
Ezra Kwame.
Welcome to the world, Ezra Kwame Darden.
Welcome to this world, Ezra Kwame. I know, right?
You ever heard that song by Creed called "With Arms Wide Open"?
Sing it.
Well, I just heard the news today. It seems my life is gonna change. I close my eyes. I began to pray, then tears of joy streamed down my face with arms wide open.
Yes.
So about when he found out he was going to be a father.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that was the meaning of the song.
Yeah. That's the whole. That was the whole thing when he found out he was going to be a father.
All right.
And that song was around after my first 2 kids were born. Anyways, when my wife told me that we were having a baby, for Madeline, when she got pregnant with Madeline, that was the first song that came into my mind after that, was that old Creed song.
Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Shout out Scott Stapp. So anyways.
He's here. That's number 4 on the list.
Mm.
And I'm thinking that's it. He could this should be the last one. So funny story. My wife was having a C-section.
Okay.
So they already in there. They can go in and tie your tubes up.
Right.
So the nurse comes in the room before we go back into the operating room to have the procedure. She's like, Mrs. Darden, would you like to have your tubes tied today?
You have had 4 children.
Right.
In case you forgot or lost count.
My wife's like, no, I don't. And I said, hold up. I said, nurse, we might have to revisit this, So She was like, well, that's her decision to make, basically.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah.
No. So I was like, oh, man, you sure, babe? And then the nurse looks at me and was like, well, guess I'll see you next year. And walks right out the damn room. I said, no, the hell
that.
you walk. She said it so straight face, too.
That's
So
hilarious.
See you next year.
See you next year. Walks out.
And walks out. Yep.
That's too funny.
So, oh, man, I hope she don't see me next year, bro. I got my hands full right now with these two.
Listen, her body, her choice, your body, your choice.
Exactly.
And now that she's not in the hospital, it's much easier and cheaper and quicker recovery for you to get taken care of.
Oh, just get my
snip.
Yeah. Get neutered or spayed.
Whatever
which one is
whatever,
whatever you want to call it.
Whatever it is.
Neutered or spayed.
I call it declawed.
Declawed. Yeah, defanged.
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 Still got the fang, but not the poison.
Yeah.
Oh.
All bite, no bark. All bark, no bite, or however you want to word. I don't know. But yeah, so that was my week. So he's a week old today.
And your oldest is how old?
17, about to be 18 in like 19 days. His birthday, December 20th. What's today? The second?
The
second. So in 18 days.
Okay.
I have an 18-year-old. I have an adult, a legal adult, and a brand new baby.
Well,
that's crazy.
I kind of know how you feel.
Yeah, I bet you do.
A little bit, but you still have 4 in the house. This legal adult still lives with you.
Yeah, still lives with me.
As does your next oldest, and as does your next youngest, and then as does them. So you now have 4 children in your house.
4 children in the crib.
Yeah, I have 1. So that makes it a little bit, a little bit different.
A little bit different. At least the first 2 are kind of self-sufficient.
Well, that's true, and the younger 2 are close enough together that they could, Ezra can wear Enzo's old clothes, so you pretty much got a lot of the stuff it's just diapers and more time, of course. But
correct.
If Jessica and I were going to have another one, I would want to do it now. We're not going to have another one, but I'm just saying.
I wouldn't space it out. I wish I would have had all 4 just back to back to back.
I could see 2 to start out with.
That would be my recommendation. If you're going to have 4, just have them.
I could see doing 2 and then 20 years later do 2 more.
But things can change in 20 years.
Of course they will.
In 10 years, things can change.
For sure.
You'd be like, oh, I don't want no more kids. And then, damn, I want more kids.
I know exactly how you feel.
Here you
are. I know exactly about that. I said I never wanted to have another baby.
I'm midlife, having babies.
Hey, I'll tell that story on the podcast, but not today, because today is about your baby.
Yeah.
But remind me sometime to tell about the story about how I thought about and came to the decision to speak to my wife about possibly having a baby. That's a fun.
That was your idea to have Madeline. I mean, it takes 2, but you brought it up.
I did bring it up.
You brought it up.
Okay. Thought about it for a long time. But anyways, that ain't today's story.
Okay, that ain't today's
Today
story.
we're welcoming Mr. Ezra to the world. I want to hear all about
Ezra Kwame, man. He's amazing, man.
Has he got any hair?
Oh, he had a full head of hair.
See, you Darden babies.
He had a
full
head.
Y'all come out with some hair now. That is
a full head of hair, man.
Y'all are very different from the Knoxes because our babies are bald as hell.
Bald,
yeah, man. Madeline still probably doesn't have as much hair as Ezra does.
Madeline,
it's real fine.
She's sprouting up.
Yeah, she's starting to sprout up, and it's real fine, so it's harder to see it.
Mm-hmm. And she's light. Her hair is very light.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's fine and light colored.
And light color.
It kind of matches the color of her head. Although Jessica sent me a picture while I was out of town this weekend of her in the back seat of the car, and the way the sun coming in made her look really redheaded.
Ooh.
I'll show you that picture, but it's like, is this a premonition of what's to come with her hair? Because it looked really red in the sun, really red. Yeah, and I could see Jessica in the front had her red hair too, and then Madeline behind it, and it was like, I got a little teary when she said that picture. I was like, that's my women right there.
That's my babies.
Yeah, that's my girls. Yeah. So how's everybody adjusting? What does Enzo think?
Enzo only gets jealous when it's breastfeeding time. Outside of that, he's cool. We trying to teach him like soft touches.
Right.
Okay, go give your brother a kiss. He'll go give him a kiss.
Okay.
But then when it's breastfeeding, Enzo's still breastfeeding.
Right.
Up until that day, and she'll just give him a little shot here and there, to kind of ease his mind, ease his nerves.
So she's weaning him off of the breast. And
we're trying.
Okay. Yeah,
You know, so like say she's breastfeeding Ezra, he'll come up and try to grab the other titty and then push Ezra off, the one that he's sucking on.
Right,
you know,
right.
and then block it with his hand. You know, so it's hard, you know, to get him off that tit, you know.
Well,
and she breastfed all 4 of our kids.
Nice.
The first
That's
2,
the best way.
My first one, we stopped him right at 1. As soon as he turned 1, cut
That's the way
cold
we
turkey.
did.
And
That's the way we did with Madeline.
Yeah, he was no problem. He winged off fine.
Yeah, we just went. Well, but we started by breast milk in the bottle. So when we first started weaning her off the breast, then she was still drinking the same breast milk, but in a bottle. So the taste was the same, and that seemed like it made it easier to.
Get her off
of it. Yeah.
Then my daughter, she just never really took to the breast to begin with, so it wasn't no problem weaning her off. And then Enzo, he wouldn't take a bottle, so all the milk he got always came from the breast because he just would not take a bottle. We tried to pump and you know, put it in the bottle, and he just wouldn't do it. He just would not do it.
Wow.
You know, and so, and then weaning him, we tried to wean him at 1, and he wasn't having it. Yeah, he's addicted, bro. Yeah, I mean, he's addicted to it.
I mean, it's still the very best nutrition you could possibly get,
man.
You know? Yeah.
You know, so I was like, I think it's time, though. You know, he's almost 2.
Right.
Come next month. I was like, we need to get him off the tit, babe.
Yeah.
We need to just cut him and just, you know, deal with it.
It'd be tough for a week or so, maybe. Probably not even that long, really.
And get him off of it and cut him, you know, but he'll sit there and have a fit, you know, and he won't that titty.
I think when it comes to kids, if you got to do something that changes their routine, that's the only way to do it right there. Just cut it off. All right.
Just
this
cut
is the way
it off.
we used to do it. This is the new way to do it. And from here on out, this is how we do it.
Them Ezra titties now.
Yeah.
Look, hey, I feel you, son. I haven't had them.
It is.
in 2-3 years. So it is what it is. We both, you know.
It is what it is.
It sucks for both of us, you know.
It is what it is.
You ever tasted breast milk, man?
Of course.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's sweet almost.
It is, yeah.
But I still don't want to just be drinking it.
No. It's still something just a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah. It wasn't bad.
It's not bad, no.
I remember, so, oh my goodness. Y'all don't judge me or my wife for this. So, last New Year's, we took a trip to Vegas.
Okay.
And my wife was still breastfeeding when we took this trip.
Okay.
So, you know, her titties would swell up.
Of course.
And she left her damn pump at home.
Oh, no.
Guess who had to relieve her?
I mean, you got to do what you got to do, man.
So I'm sucking on my wife's tits every 4 hours and spitting it in a cup. You know, I'm filling up cups, 8-ounce cups,
Wow.
She's like, honey, I think it's time. She's like, they hurt so bad. So we'll have to go back to the room.
Wow.
I had to suck her tits and spit it out.
I mean, do what you got to do, right?
That's a real story, man. I'm in Vegas sucking my wife's tits.
What happens in Vegas
stays in
Vegas,
relieving her. Because she left her damn breast pump.
It is what it is. Wow.
That's crazy, man. You got to do what you got to do. That's love.
Do what you got to do. That's right.
That's love right there.
You got to do what you got to do.
Find somebody you love. Find you a wife who breast milk you can suck and spit. You can even drink it if you want. I didn't drink it. I didn't swallow.
I'm not judging either way. You didn't swallow?
I didn't swallow, bro. I spit. But now I'm looking back, I'm like, why I just didn't go to drink this shit? I'm sucking it. Why I just didn't go to drink? Inhale? I smoked, but I didn't inhale.
Well,
man.
It worked for Bill.
I'll leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So a 4-time father now.
4-time father.
4-time father. Wow. With the possibility, there you go. So that means that in the
according
back
to
of
that
her
nurse,
mind,
she gonna see me next year.
Well, that means in the back of her mind, Cynthia's mind, the possibility exists to have another one.
Correct. But it's not getting easier on her either.
Well, no, of course not.
I mean, me, it is what it is. But
right. Physically,
it's not getting easier.
Hey, listen.
Shit.
So
let me collect my thoughts.
I was in Atlanta this weekend. In a place called Piedmont Park, which was a beautiful park. Shout out Piedmont Park for a Christmas market.
Piedmont Park. Did you see the zoo?
I did not see the zoo. No. I was adjacent to the botanical gardens and right close to the zoo, but I was there to work.
Did you see Willie B?
Willie B. Who's Willie B?
A gorilla statue at the zoo.
I didn't go to the zoo, so
it's outside of Piedmont Park. Yeah,
yeah. I don't know.
He's like
the zoo is outside of Piedmont Park.
It's right there by Piedmont
right there
Park.
by
Yeah, well, Piedmont Park's outside the zoo, or however. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I didn't realize I was that close. Okay.
To the zoo.
Did you know the intersection of Piedmont Avenue and 10th Street?
Okay.
The crosswalks are painted rainbow.
Okay. I mean, gay pride,
Sure, yeah. I think that's a community where a lot of gay people live
in Atlanta,
and
most
so
that is
where, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of noticed that being there. I was there all weekend.
I mean, everyone's queer eye for their
of some kind.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you know what? I just thought it was interesting that, right there, Kevin's got it pulled up on this.
Whatever floats your boat.
There's a great big field right there. It'd be fun to throw some Frisbee. So up that hill right there, just on the other side of where that hill was from that field shot that it showed, is where my tent was set up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot. But, the crosswalks were painted rainbow colors, which I thought was kind of cool.
Okay.
But there was a store there. Listen, I love everybody. I think I've told the story on this podcast of where I came to understand that my own homophobia was ridiculous. Maybe not. You're looking at me like I haven't. But say that
you're not homophobic.
No, but I once was.
But you once were.
Sure,
yes.
Sure.
Okay.
It's not my favorite word either, but it seems to be the preferred word for somebody that has an irrational distaste for people who are gay. Like, what does it matter? You know what I'm saying? But anyways, there was a shop there called the Boy Next Door Menswear at the corner of Piedmont and 10th Avenue. It was called.
I mean, is that a play on words?
I think it was
something like what was it a gay shop?
Well, I mean, I didn't go in. I was just passing through. I noticed it because there was a coffee shop right there in the corner, and instead of drinking the nasty Starbucks coffee that I drank over the weekend,
you want to go to
if I'd have seen this local place, I see it as I'm leaving. And then I realized there's a local place like a block away from where I am. I could have probably filled up my thermos and had good coffee as opposed to the Starbucks I ended up drinking. But anyways, right next to this coffee shop was this place called the Boy Next Door Menswear, which I'm sure is a menswear place that caters towards gay guys. I'm thinking.
I don't know. If it said the Boy Back Door, I would have definitely knew. But
for
next
sure.
door, I mean, it's kind of nuanced.
I didn't go in. But
Ambiguous.
If I'd have been in that coffee shop, ambiguous.
The Boy Next Door. Oh, Lord.
It might be androgynous.
Androgynous.
Oh.
Man, Prince wasn't androgynous.
Prince did seem quite androgynous.
Prince
I was just tonight on the way down here. I heard Chris Cornell's version of "Nothing Compares to You." You know that song? It was sung by Sinead O'Connor. It's been 7 hours and 15. Did the bald chick from the 80s, Sinead O'Connor? No. Yeah,
it's not
ringing. It was a song written by Prince called "Nothing Compares to You." Prince recorded it himself, but Sinead O'Connor made it famous, and then Chris Cornell recorded it acoustic, and it's a cool recording of it.
Okay.
I don't know how I got on that. Prince, androgynous.
We talking about androgyny.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I heard that word, I was watching a show called Everybody Hates Chris.
I've heard of that show, but I never saw
it. It's a Chris Rock.
Oh, okay.
Of him growing up. Grew up in like Bed-Stuy, New York. And it's basically him and his life.
So it's like a documentary of his life.
But it's a show. Almost like, let's say like Sanford and Son. It's a syndicated television show.
Oh, okay.
And I'm pretty sure it's it's a good show.
Yeah.
But he had a kid he went to school with that was an androgynous.
Read us the definition, Mr. Producer. I can't.
Of an androgynous?
Partly male and partly female in appearance, or indeterminate sex.
Well, there you go.
Of indeterminate sex.
I think that
partly male and partly female in appearance. So basically,
definitely is Prince.
A guy in drag. Or you probably don't even got to go that extreme with it.
You remember the old Saturday Night Lit bit, It's Pat? Remember It's Pat?
Mm-mm.
You never knew if it was a boy or a girl?
No.
And they would play
I thought that was Lola.
No, that was from the song.
Lola. How that song went? When he was basically talking about a lady boy, wasn't he, in that song?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the guy's name now. That guy's famous for dating trans women.
So he really liked trans women. That's why he made this song. Okay.
I met her in a bar down in somewhere else. where we drink champagne and it tasted like Coca-Cola. La 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 Lola. What was the line in the chorus? Well, I'm not dumb, but I can't understand why she walks like a woman, talks like a man. Oh, my Lola. Oh, what was? Oh no, the other one I was thinking of was Lou Reed's song, "Take a Walk on the Wild Side." Remember that? Lou Reed's the one that was known for trans women.
Being dating trans too? Take a walk on.
Taking a walk on the wild side. What was it?
Oh man, I never put that together. I knew Lola was.
Take a walk on the wild side.
Hey baby, take a walk on the wild side. I said, hey honey.
I'm trying to remember the line now, but I can't get.
Damn, I can't think of the words of the song though.
I said, hey babe, take a walk on the wild side. And the color girls all say, do 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 do.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good song.
Something about shaved her legs and he was a she.
But they were making this music before that was like.
But way before that was
acceptable.
Acceptable. It was certainly happening. It was certainly out there.
Right.
But way before you could really talk about it mainstream.
In the open. Yeah.
A lot of that stuff was sure. Yeah.
Man.
Lou Reed was, he's probably in his 70s now.
Oh, man.
So whenever that came out. But, I mean, you got to know gender bending's been going on forever, if that's not an offensive term.
Since the beginning of time.
Of course. And who cares as long as you're not hurting anybody?
Hey, do what you do. Live your life, man.
Whatever.
Live your life.
Yeah.
My opinion don't matter.
I just have got too much things to worry about other than what some,
Low, you ain't try to glaze my buns, we good.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean.
Look, I'm where I'm going to be.
I'm where I'm going to be.
Anybody else that,
you don't want these buns anyway.
Whatever anybody else got going on, I'm not interested,
Man, did you finish the story? We went on about androgynous. I don't even know where we were going with that story.
I was just talking about
so
that
many
store.
damn rabbit holes. I mean,
I just thought that was a cool store name. The Boy Next Door Menswear. Yeah. I just thought it was kind of a cool name for
The Boy Back Doors Menswear.
Say it again.
You're going to tell us about
Piedmont. We were going into Piedmont. Then they had the rainbow walkways.
Yeah, Piedmont and 10th Avenue.
The Boy Back Door.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling it. And and the coffee shop. Oh, that's as far as we got.
I didn't get to the coffee shop. Okay. Well, no, it was a 2-day show over in Atlanta. I'd never done this show before. So I rolled in on Friday and set up, and then it was Saturday and Sunday, and it was pretty short hours, 10 to 5 on Saturday and 11 to 5 on Sunday. So I was home. I was home last night by 10 o'clock, and that included the traffic jam I got.
Would you do it again? Was it a success?
It's one of those kind of in between, This was the coldest weekend of the year.
Yeah.
And it was the first cold weekend of the year, and so you got to assume that's going to affect traffic. And we still did overall pretty good.
Okay.
I don't, we're talking about numbers privately. Yeah, we can talk about numbers privately, but we did overall pretty good. And I did the whole stealth camping thing, so saved on cash.
On the room, you saved a couple $100 there.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. I stayed in that van I bought from the trailer park guy.
Shout out the trailer park.
Shout out trailer park van. Listen,
trailer park guy.
Yeah.
He said he had a damn dirty Harry on his waist and a bag of hat.
He was ready to go. Ready to go, boy. It didn't matter.
Dirty Harry.
But he sold me a good van. I've driven it about 1,000 miles now. I was thinking about that last night. I've driven about 1,000 miles with no issues.
Old dumb.
Look, it scared the crap out of me, so it doesn't have Bluetooth.
Okay.
So I got one of those FM modulators, where you can plug it in and then it sends a Bluetooth to this, and that sends it to an FM station. You dial your radio to whatever station it is. Does it have
a tape?
No. This
sends
an FM transmitter. Oh,
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know exactly. I got one in my car.
Yeah. Anyways, that's what I'm using now, and they
work pretty good.
I got south 50 or 60 miles, and whatever station I had it tuned on
was a real station.
Was starting to come into tune as a real station. And so all of a sudden from the speakers, I hear this loud sound.
Right.
And I'm thinking something's happened on the van. And I pull over on the side of the road all scared. And I cut it off. And when I cut it off, of course, the sound goes away. And then I realized I was an idiot. I felt stupid. But no, the van went no problem. And sleeping in the back of it was better than sleeping in the other one because it's bigger,
Wow.
It was cold. It was 28 degrees Saturday night.
So did you have to cut the van on every down?
No. I got
how did you stay
warm? I got a buddy heater in the back.
Okay.
So if I'm just hanging out, I got that little buddy heater going, and I open a window. It's got little small windows in the back. But you can open a window, and I put a battery-powered fan right there in that window to make sure I get airflow, so it's not like a CO2 or low oxygen.
Right.
But I turned it off when I went to sleep.
Okay.
But I got a good sleeping bag. I got a sleeping bag I'd be okay on the ground with, and this is inside of a van. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm definitely warm while I'm asleep. And you got to think I've camped since I was, I've slept outside in snow, literally in snow. You know what I'm saying? If you can get bundled up where you're warm.
Wow.
And then, you wake up in the middle of the night, of course, and, or in the morning first thing, and it's cold as everything, but you turn that buddy heater on in the back of a fan for a minute or two, and it gets warm pretty quick.
It warms up quick, especially a space like that.
Yeah, tiny little space like that. Yeah. It's not uncomfortable. It really is not uncomfortable. I can sleep just about anywhere, and I just put foam mats down on the floor. I don't even need a blow-up mattress or whatever. And just lay out a sleeping bag, and I got a pillow, and I sleep good.
Wow.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
So outside of doing the event, making money, what was the next best thing about being in Atlanta for you that you can say?
Oh, I can't really say. I always enjoy going somewhere new. I always enjoy
meeting cool people,
putting myself in the environment.
Food, new restaurant.
All right, you know what? There you go. Shout out the taco truck. Dang, I wish I remember the name of it.
Taco truck.
There was a taco truck that was set up there at the event, and I got me some Mexican street tacos that were perfect. Just sometimes they put so much cilantro on them that you can't hardly eat them. These were steak tacos, and they were simple the way they're supposed to be. They had real flour tortillas that they fried up right there. They were absolutely delicious. I got the rice and beans on the side. Cost me $15 for 3 steak tacos and a bowl of rice and beans. And I asked the lady for some hot sauce, and she did a double take. She says, "We put sauce in there." And I said, "But you got some hot sauce, right?" And she looked at me, she smiled, and said, "Yeah, I got you." So she gives me the sauce that goes in there, and then she's got some just like in a regular unmarked bottle. She squeezes some of it in a little cup for me. That's the sauce you want right there.
Unmarked bottle.
The unmarked bottle with the sauce. Or if it says employees only, that's what you want right there. Yeah. And so she hooked me up with the hot sauce, and I'm talking about it lit me up. It was hot, and I like hot stuff, and this was hot. Shout out Dylan Russell. This was hot. Yeah.
Shout out Dylan Russell.
Dylan Russell,
Sauce Daddy.
Hot. Yeah, Sauce Daddy. I'm wearing this.
You got a Sauce Daddy shirt on.
I got the hoodie on. Yeah.
Shout out Sauce.
Oh yeah, those street tacos are great. Thank you for reminding. The thing is, I hate being away from my wife and baby.
That was tough.
I'm at that age where
a couple days.
I spend several hours a day every day with my daughter, and after 2 days, I can see a difference in her. Her voice sounds different. I'm like, how did I miss this?
Right.
And it's been 3 days. But it really was a beautiful area of town.
Right.
The Piedmont Park area. I didn't get into the botanical gardens or what have you, but just driving through the streets, every house looks different. It's not the cookie cutter suburban environment that we see so much here.
That's an old side of town.
It's an old side of town. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I've been out of Atlanta for 20 years, but I'm pretty sure they starting to really gentrify that area.
It maybe so. There's definitely money there.
Yeah,
there's definitely money there, but the houses were well maintained. Most of them were beautiful. It's quite frankly, I told my wife we could live in that neighborhood. If we were going to live in the city, which I wouldn't want to live in the city, but if I was, I could live in that neighborhood. It seemed like people took pride in what's going on around them.
Yeah, they definitely take pride.
They take pride, that's for sure.
They definitely take pride.
Yeah. But you know what? I don't care if my neighbors are 2 guys or 2, as long as there's a gay couple that lives on the corner of our neighborhood, right on the very corner down there. And they are always planting some flowers, and their house is painted and looks. As a matter of fact, their house looks better than mine does. I'm gonna be honest with you. It makes me want to, step up my game a little bit.
I need to be some gay neighbors.
I mean, these are 2 ladies. Well,
you can be men or ladies.
Yeah. But haven't you noticed?
Go ahead.
All right, I'll get into a little bit of territory here.
Okay, get it.
All right, think about the gay couples that you know. Okay.
I'm trying to think of any gay couple I know.
Okay, but when you see somebody coming through the market or what have you. 2 lesbians, a lot of times are looking pretty scruffy. Have you noticed that?
That's some
raggedy jeans, some flannels, whatever.
You got the bull dyke lesbian, then you got the lady lesbian. It depends on the set of lesbians you get.
Could be, but almost all gay guys try to put their best foot forward.
For a lesbian, is it a bull? Is that a bad
Man,
word?
I don't know.
I know it's some words you can't say. I don't know bull. We call them bull dykes.
Yeah,
you a bull dyker.
Everybody knows what that means. I hope that's not offensive.
I hope not. If it is, educate me. Don't jump on my ass. Educate me. Okay, we don't like that word. Okay, because I don't have any lesbian friends to even talk to about these conversations.
Be happy to use another word. Yeah. Although I do. I know a few that I could reach out to. So, But when you see a gay guy couple, two guys,
they're usually pretty good shape.
They're usually in pretty good shape, and they usually have put their
mean,
best foot forward.
Like,
they
man,
dress sharp.
If you was a straight guy, you could probably be a lady killer.
You could probably be a lady killer. They dress sharp. They got the right,
Fresh, shaved,
yeah, absolutely.
Nice cut.
Yep. That's the one thing that you notice, or at least that I noticed.
I mean, I never made that correlation, but.
Yep. Yeah, almost
the
never
gay
see guys that are not well put together.
You're a good looking dude.
Right.
If I was gay, I'd
I'm
date
glad.
you.
I'm glad you're
You
not
know what I'm
in
saying?
the
It'd be like
competition.
that. Now, you see the
right, but I mean, you
you
know,
see the lesbian women, you be like, ooh, I'm straight and I won't date you.
right.
You know,
That's a good point, though. You see a lot of that. It makes you wonder about
You're
that.
a
You know,
bull-dyker.
maybe maximizing your options or whatever.
We canceled, man. We go.
Oh, you going down Monroe Street? I drove up and down it.
We canceled.
Monroe and Park Street.
I think every episode is gonna get us canceled.
I think so. But the truth is stranger than fiction.
The truth is stranger.
Mr. Producer Man is looking at a video where I just spent the last
making
weekend.
an
I got to look the other way. Making an observation. That's all it is. I'm not judging. I love everybody.
I need some gay friends.
I love everybody.
Hey, if you
unless
gay
you're
and
an
you
asshole,
listening, be my friend.
There you go. We'll be friends with you.
We'll be friends with you. I wouldn't mind having you on the show.
I was just gonna say,
imagine having a gay guy on the show. And
that's probably the most homophobic thing. Imagine if it was two white guys sitting here talking. And we were talking the exact same way we're talking now about a black dude. It would
we don't have no black friends.
It would come across as real racist, wouldn't it? Imagine it's two white guys, right? And we're sitting here and we're like, you know what? I love black people. Matter of fact, I wouldn't mind having one on my show.
I mean,
it would sound
I don't think
racist.
that'd be racist. You just don't got no black friends. I guess it depends on the person, how sensitive you are and how you may perceive something.
And it also depends on intent. You can be so sensitive that you're offended by something that wasn't meant to offend, and rather, as you said earlier, educate me. Rather than get all pissed off or act holier than thou or whatever. Just say, hey, did you realize that's an offensive term, or that can be taken in a way that you probably didn't mean it.
And I would not say it again.
And I won't say it again. Yeah.
But instead, I'm offending people.
But instead, so often I think that's met with aggression, and it's like, slow your roll, man. Right. I wasn't trying to be any kind of way. Hell, I didn't know. And it seems like the rules kind of changed quite a bit.
And the rules always changing. When I was coming up, a bull dyke was a bull dyke.
For sure.
That's what we called a...
And nobody thought anything about it.
Nobody thought anything. Oh, man, she a bull dyke. Okay.
That's just her style, I guess.
I don't know.
Think about the different...
Carpet muncher.
...terms.
I eat carpet, too. I don't know. Is that bad? You can call me a carpet. I've been married 17 years. It ain't too much of anything we ain't done.
This episode, above all, is going to get us canceled.
Yeah. We're done for it.
Our hosting platform is going to be like, y'all are going to have to find another.
We're out of here, man. You guys are done.
It's going to be like the banks with weed stores. We can't touch y'all. We can't
be
associated with this type of behavior.
Can't even sponsor you.
Wow.
Just skip. We're going to call this one Skip This Episode.
Skip This Episode. There you go. That'd be a good name. Skip This Episode.
Skip This Episode.
Speaking of naming episodes, I don't mind putting this out there on the air.
Okay.
But have you noticed that on downloads, our still single most downloaded episode continues to be...
To the wall.
To the window, to the wall.
To the sweat drop down my balls.
I wonder if it's just coincidence, if it's because people search for...
Ooh, man.
I don't know. Interesting. Or maybe it was just that good of an episode. That was the one that had the glitch in it, too, though.
That was short. That's why I think we need to probably look at that short market,
It's a good point.
Because that one have a lot of downloads on the short, because it was short at one point.
5 minutes long. Anybody's got 5 minutes.
Yeah, to see what these guys talking about.
Man, what's
so
this
maybe
all
we
about?
need to probably start kind of...
That 5 minutes needs to be video on YouTube, though.
Correct.
That's what I think. That's
like
what I
maybe
think.
segment it,
Right.
Because we kind of jump all over the place.
We do kind of jump all over the place. And we can highlight the funny stuff, which is what you say.
Right.
And get rid of the dumb stuff, which is what I say.
That is absolutely.
And then we keep on rolling.
Misinformation.
Was I going to tell the story about the time I drove a Firebird off a cliff?
Hey, yes. You hinted at it.
Q and I were talking at the coffee shop earlier, and I just casually mentioned, because I guess I thought I'd told this story. It happened so long ago.
Have you ever heard the story about him driving a Firebird off a cliff?
It's like fingerprints.
Yeah.
All right, so it started with a 1970 Carmen Ghia
Carmen Ghia?
Carmen Ghia, yeah.
And that's a Volkswagen?
Yeah.
Don't it mean like convertible in German? Was it a convertible?
No, it was. They made them in convertibles, and if you find a convertible, they're very rare. Do what?
I've only seen them red or white.
This one was canary yellow, but it was a custom job for me. I knew the guy. I already was driving Beetles, and this guy had this Carmen Ghia, and he was going to do a resto job on it, and we got to talking about it, and yada, yada, yada. I liked what he was doing, and then he liked what I suggested, and long story short, it became, you're going to buy this car, right? Yeah, I am. So anyways, he got the car done, and I bought it and drove it for a while, and I was driving it down Eva Road late one night when it was cold. I'm sorry, when it was rainy. It wasn't cold, but it was rainy, and there was an old Porsche Boxster.
Okay.
Now, my Carmen Ghia was not stock. It was bored out to 1941 cc's, had two big dual Delorto 2-barrel carbs on it. And it was, it wasn't super fast, but it had get up and go. And you got to think the whole thing weighed like 1,200 pounds. So, it didn't take a whole lot.
Weight ratio, correct.
Yeah. It was probably pushing.
What, 180 horsepower?
No, not that.
120?
Probably 110, 120, something like that. It started out as a 60 horse. No,
yeah, 60
it started
horses.
out as a 60
they don't
horse.
put out much power.
Yeah,
Volkswagens.
but they were also light. So, even a 60 horse running right, and especially depending on what. I had a Beetle that had a 410 geared rear end in it. It would pop a wheelie.
Wow.
Yeah, you could pop about 6 inches of a wheelie up off of the ground. Now, red light to red light was about all you had.
Right.
60 or 65 was. You were wound out. You might push it up to like 70 or so.
4 tens in it, right?
It's got 4 tens in it. Yeah. But you could come off the line fast enough to piss off a Mustang. You know what I'm saying? Which was always fun. And then people would make Herbie jokes because you could pop a little wheelie with it. It was always fun. So this Carmen Ghia, I'm driving it on Eva Road, curvy mountain road. I'm chasing this little Porsche Boxster. We're going at it neck and neck. Next thing you know, he's in front, by the way, just for the record. Next thing you know, I lose it in a corner and I flip it. Roll it right on the side of the road, and it comes to rest like on the side of this. Now, this is on the right-hand side, goes up probably.
You in the Carmen Ghia?
I'm in the Carmen Ghia. Yeah.
So this we even got to the Firebird yet coming off
story.
The road.
Right.
Oh, man.
So I lose it in this curve.
Okay.
It rolls over upside down, slides over against the mountain.
Damn.
I'm fine. Right? I get out. I go up to a neighbor's house, knock on the door. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was coming from Decatur where I'd closed a restaurant that I worked at.
Decatur was greater.
Decatur well, maybe then. So anyways, I'm fine.
Shout out Decatur.
I get up to the place. I call the police. They come down there. They get a wrecker. State trooper comes down, the whole 9 yards, right? State trooper gives me a ride home.
Car's gone.
And just to piss me off, he turns on his blue lights as he pulls into my driveway so my parents would get woke up because he knew it was my parent. I was a kid. And he turns on the blue lights and wakes up my parents because he knew I hadn't called them. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. They can find out in the morning. There's no need for him now. And the guys didn't give me a ride. No, he blue lights it and, of course, they wake up and I'm getting out of a cop car.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So now I don't have a car.
Okay.
No, I still had the Volkswagen Beetle that I had then. I had the Beetle and the Carmen Ghia both. I was an enterprising young man.
I see that.
And I worked hard. So I had both of those. Wrecked the Carmen Ghia. So now I'm driving that Beetle, but now I decide I want something else. The Beetle's not fast other than like 60. And I wanted to, got a friend that's got an old Firebird. It's got a 350 in it. I never had a V8 before, but I want this Firebird. Now, but it was a 76 model, I think. So buy the car from him. 3 weeks later, I'm going for an opening shift at that same restaurant that I worked at in Decatur in this Firebird. And it's kind of a foggy morning and the roads are wet. And I come around like 2 curves in front of that same one and got into the gas a little bit too much, I guess. And it swapped rear ends with me and went over the other side, which was probably 30 feet straight down and then probably 60-degree embankment starting from there going to way further than what I ended up because it's trees.
Right. You never got into the trees.
No, I was definitely into the trees. I clipped the top of some trees
That's
off.
probably that's what stopped you.
Yeah, the trees finally stopped me probably.
Okay.
But as it happened, the car came over the cliff and I'd already swapped in, so I came over backwards. And the car stayed backwards as I flew off of the cliff, and when I came down, it came down back in first. It was a hell of an impact, but it was a lot of cushion.
It put you backwards, though.
I was backwards.
That's probably the thing that really
That's probably the
helped
only
you
thing
out.
that saved me, yeah.
Did you have
and
a
I wasn't
seatbelt
upside down.
Probably not.
I don't remember. Probably not.
Driving the old seat, you ain't.
Most likely
you probably
not.
just got
And I was a kid.
lap belt, if anything.
Probably.
In that,
It was a 76. It probably had a shoulder belt. I don't know, but I probably wasn't good to wear. I didn't start wearing a seatbelt till like 5 years ago.
Right.
But Oh wow, that's a beautiful.
So
Karma,
going backwards probably what saved your life.
Going backwards and landing on the wheels probably saved my life.
Wow.
It took two tow trucks to get it out because they had to snake it, and then coming up that it was a major deal. But I broke a rib.
Mm-hmm.
I say I broke it. It felt like it was broken. I didn't go to the hospital because I'd broken ribs before. There's not much they can do. Yeah. You just deal with it.
Puncture,
but it felt
out,
and I could breathe fine. Like I wasn't gurgling out of my mouth or anything. I was able to climb back up that that embankment and then cliff. That's how I know it was sheer for like 30 feet because I figured out a way to get up that.
Wow.
And then I got up on the side of the road, and just as I did, I'd left the headlights on because I figure I need to know where the damn car is, and someone had seen the headlights coming up the mountain and realized somebody had gone off right there. And so as I was climbing up, they were almost all stopping. They were almost stopping at that point. And they picked me up and gave me a ride. And
what year you think this was? Early 90s?
I graduated in 90. This would have been 91 or 92.
91, 92.
No, this would have been – no, I was in high school. This would have been before 90.
Late 80s.
88 or 89.
88, 89.
This is 88, 89. Yeah. So, I did still go to work. I went home and got the Volkswagen and drove it to work, and I was late, but I got there. But, yeah, the car landed on all four tires backwards. It broke the seat I was sitting in. It blew all four tires, broke both axles, just pancaked the whole frame. It was a mess. And then the seat I was sitting in broke off the mounts on it, and I ended up in the back seat at like a probably, 65-degree angle.
Oh my God!
Backwards.
I bet if you would have stayed forward, you probably would have flew out of that damn car.
Oh, I probably wouldn't. Yeah.
If you would have stayed going forward.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
You impacted with your back as opposed to impacting facing forward. That would have
the tires, the axles, all the frame of it, all kind of cushioned under it. So that took a lot of the impact. And then I'm sitting in a seat backwards, and that seat broke off, and I hit the back seat, which also all that kind of. It was like one of those things where the universe aligned in just a specific way where I was, basically unharmed. It was crazy. Yeah. At the time, I didn't think about it much. I have thought about it over the years, but it's, I don't know. It was a long time before I drove that road again. I took another way to work from then on. It was a longer way, but I took another way to work for a while. I was scared of that road. Now there's guardrails there where you can't go off. I don't think it was the road.
It was you.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
for sure.
It wasn't the road.
But one way or
another. You was keeping your foot in it.
If you're a drunk, it's you, not the whiskey. But you still stay away from the whiskey.
You stay away from the whiskey. So you stay away from that road. Good analogy.
Yep.
good antidote.
Yeah, that was
good antidote.
I haven't told that story in forever.
Wow.
It's one of those things that's so etched into my
way.
DNA that I don't even think about it anymore. You're talking. I'm 53 now, and I probably was
17, 17 probably. You think 16?
I'm trying to remember
17?
how old I was. No, I was older than that for sure. I was probably 17. Yeah,
17.
Probably 17. What year is that?
So that was
71. Yeah, mine was a 70, but it looked pretty much exactly like that. But mine was a little bit more custom. Like I had blade bumpers on it instead of those bumpers. Mine were just a solid blade across.
Wow.
And there were a few things. I was 18 when I commissioned it. 17, 18 when I commissioned it. So. It reflected the taste of a teenager. I had some of the remember dual wiper blades. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember that, where you'd have your you got a regular wiper blade now, but it would have two wiper blades on each wiper arm that comes up. This was it was a short-lived thing in the late 80s, I guess.
Yep.
But it was the cool thing you did if you were
I remember it as a kid,
like squatting your truck or something. We weren't so sophisticated back then, but yeah, I had those on it. I had a power antenna because I like to be able to hit a button and the antenna go up and down, Rather than you turn the radio on and immediately you get reception, you had to turn the radio on and then hit a button. But,
I thought that was the coolest thing ever, a power antenna.
Yeah. And button operated, so I felt like I was something, Yeah.
Wow, well, I'm glad you're here.
Thanks,
to tell
man.
that story.
Me too.
That was a hell of an accident.
That was funny when the insurance company, I had State Farm back then. Shout out State Farm. They've always been good to me.
Shout out State Farm.
I contacted them about the accident, and they finally came back later. From
Jake from
State Farm.
What are you wearing?
That poor dude. Khakis.
Khakis.
Yeah.
Is it? They got a black guy doing it now. Jake was the white guy in the khakis, wasn't he?
They got a black guy in khakis now.
Yeah, it's
something about that that's unsettling. A black guy in khakis is just not.
Khakis.
You know what I'm saying? You think twice about that when you.
What happened to Jake? Now that I think about it,
I don't know.
Jake was the khakis. I think that was Jake.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Jake from State Farm. Yeah, who you talking to? It's Jake from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm.
Sure. Lady grabs the phone. Who is this? It's Jake from State Farm. Oh, yeah? What are you wearing, Jake? Khakis.
Oh, man, that put State Farm on the map. Everyone knows that one.
You know what was the funniest commercial, though?
Which one?
In my opinion, the funniest commercial of all time. Funnier than Where's the Beef, everything. You ready? Remember the Kmart commercials just before Kmart went into chapter whatever bankruptcy?
So this is recent.
Where they were
like last 10 years maybe, huh?
Probably 10 years ago, yeah. But they were advertising the fact that you could have things shipped from Kmart. You don't remember that commercial? I don't
remember this one, though.
So they had people in a Kmart,
and
they were talking about shipping their goods or whatever. And the one guy says, "Yeah, I just shipped my pants."
Okay,
you shipped your pants? Hell,
I shipped my pants.
I shipped my bed, and they were saying shipped, but it certainly sounded like they were saying shit. But this was a mainstream commercial. You got
that is
Mr. Producer Man's got it right there.
I just shipped my pants.
Seriously, I can ship my pants right here. You can
ship my pants. I never seen that one. I just been shit my pants. Oh, that is a classic. That is classic.
That commercial just makes me laugh.
That is hilarious. That's a good one.
It is very hilarious.
I can't think of nothing better than that off the top of my head.
I just shipped
I don't
my
remember
bed.
that one.
At the end of look, play it again, Mr. Producer Man, from right there. No, start from.
I just shipped. That's hilarious. Shout out Kmart, y'all.
Shout out Kmart for that commercial.
Hey, bring Kmart back. Shout out to Kmart. Oh,
we should pull that clip and use it as part of it. That was too funny. Just testing the boundaries of what can
we do.
I guarantee you, somebody in that ad agency was like, "We're going out of business anyway,
right?
Y'all.
This shit's awesome.
We might as well have some fun. This is going to be great.
Yeah, this is
we'll
gonna
be legendary.
Great.
Yep.
Why not?
Yep.
Well, so okay. With that being said, going out of business, Joe Biden's making this exit from the presidency. Did you see this motherfucker pardon his son?
No, he didn't.
Hunter Biden's been pardoned by Joe Biden.
I did not. When did this happen?
Today or yesterday?
I've been out of the loop.
It was in the news yesterday.
He officially pardoned Hunter Biden.
Pardoned Hunter Biden, and he said he wouldn't do it. He was going to let the courts decide. Ponder on that one. Pontificate on that one, Shane the Brain.
You know what
the
I'm saying?
motherfucker pardoned his son, man.
He did, but I'm going to tell you this. From where I stand now, after 53 years, having a son who's 31, a daughter who's 28, now a new daughter. I've been doing this for a while, and I've done a lot of. I wish you always wish you could go back.
Right.
As a father, from the perspective that I am now, I would pardon my son.
If I had the power to?
If I had the power to. If I were president and my son murdered somebody in cold blood, I would pardon him.
You would pardon him?
I would. Now, I would do everything I could to keep tabs, but I used to feel your way.
I don't think I would.
But there's nothing that I wouldn't do for one of my children at this point.
Even if they're wrong?
Even if they're wrong.
Ooh.
No matter what. Yeah. That's just where I'm at.
Oh,
yeah, that's my child, and if there's anything I can do, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If I were president and you did some shit, it'd have to be some bad shit before I wouldn't pardon you. I mean, some real bad, like to me or my family. Other than that, I'd probably pardon you too, man.
I got some hard boundaries.
I feel you. I used to.
Like if you did some like chomo type stuff. I can't get with you. I can't.
Wait a minute. Some what?
Chomo, child molestation.
Oh, that's gonna be tough for me now.
I can't get behind you.
It's gonna be hard for me to get behind anybody.
And it's without a reasonable doubt that okay, you was
my head hadn't even gone there.
Yeah, little boys or girls.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a hard time getting around that. I
can't support you, son. You need to go do your time. Matter of fact, they need to castrate you and put you on the island somewhere. In my opinion,
because that's as much a disease as it is anything else. If you can,
put you on the Chomo Island.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. That's gonna be a problem.
Murder. What's the deed? I mean, self-defense.
Okay, but I need to know what they did.
Yeah, what
did
now,
they do?
If you murdered this guy for some chomo to one of your kids,
that ain't murder.
That ain't to me.
But it might be.
That's
though.
why I can say.
Yeah. Like if somebody touched one of your kids, and I had a chance, I would kill the fuck out of them. Yeah. We kill each other's child molester. Yeah, for sure.
You're not doing that.
But that's still not.
But
that's
say
not murder.
if you convicted we hypothetically, if they convicted you, courts convicted you of that. For being murdered, because let's say he did it and you had 5 days to think about it and you premeditated and went over there, and they gonna probably charge you with murder.
But now Hunter Biden's crimes,
I think he got like some chomo type stuff, some tax evasion.
He's definitely got tax evasion, and I think there's definitely
they got a lot of things. They had a lot of dirt on them.
That whole laptop situation,
Yeah,
I think there's
a lot of dirt on that laptop.
My point is that I think that probably there's a lot that probably we don't even know about.
Right.
And now we're talking about a blanket pardon, probably pardon for all crimes. I imagine that's the way.
I think it's a slap in the face to America to show that.
What if Trump pardons himself?
We're in power and we can do what we want to do, basically.
What if Trump pardons himself?
I don't think he will.
He has that power?
I think Trump's wearing it as a badge of honor.
I kind of think he is,
I don't think he will pardon him. He don't have to pardon
I think
himself.
he feels like his convictions were politically motivated. And if that is the case, that's like the worst type of... that's kind of the lowest low, to persecute somebody legally. If that is the case, I'm not saying it is, but to prosecute somebody legally for their political views, that's some, medieval England times, regardless of what you feel about their political views.
Right.
Or it's like the right to free speech really only applies to offensive speech, right? Because if it's not offensive, then nobody's going to have a problem with it.
You can't say, I can't say fire, or
you can't incite.
Make bomb threats.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? But outside of that, I can't say I'm finna whoop your ass. I can't go up to somebody and tell them I'm finna whoop
you can't threaten somebody.
You can't threaten people. But I can say, you an ugly looking motherfucker.
Of course.
All day long, or
of
whatever.
Course.
I can call you all the names in the book. And
you can espouse whatever political opinion that you want to espouse. If you want to stand on the street corner and say, up with Hitler, the Nazi party should come back. I despise that speech.
You might get your ass whooped. You might get your ass whooped. That corner. I mean, but
and whoever did is probably not going to get convicted. But you have the right to say it. You also have the responsibility to take the consequences.
Don't mean
you should. That's for sure.
Should,
but we should have the. It's like burning a flag. I think that's terrible. I think it's horrendous. But it is a free speech right.
I mean, that's what you want to do.
I talked to. Listen, you still might get your ass whipped.
Hey.
You still very well might get your ass whipped. I ain't saying that I won't.
If that's what you want to do.
I didn't say I was going to take it quietly, but I said I think you have a right to do it.
Right. I don't think it's a law that says
it's
you
not.
can't burn a flag.
It's not.
And it ain't nothing that lock you up.
I had a Vietnam vet one time tell me we were talking about that issue, and he said somebody addressed him and said, as a Vietnam vet, why would you let them burn the flag? That's what you were fighting for. And he said, no, I fought for their right to burn the flag.
To be able to burn the flag.
To have the right to be able to burn the flag. That's what he said. He said, I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to like it, but I fought for them to have the right to say it, whether I like it or not.
Right.
And that's what the First Amendment's really all about. You don't need to protect speech that's popular. You need to protect the speech that, even if nobody likes it. Imagine if the first person that said the earth was round, they burned him at the stake, but, he should have been allowed to say that. Even, should have been allowed to say it, but it went against the church state. And so,
I
can't remember his name.
I can't remember either. I can't remember the name either.
There's a song about it too, but I'm not going to sing it. Some old, one of those old Greek people or whatever, Greek astronomer or philosopher.
Or whatever you want to be.
Some of those guys are crazy.
I just think to me, I was like, man, this is a real slap in the face to power. Exercising that power.
Yeah,
like, this dude actually pardoned his son.
That's nepotism at its worst.
What's the convenience of them having that trial or ending that trial as soon as he's about to exit office? It's too convenient for me,
Yeah, I don't know, man. I get so frustrated with what I see, the quote powerful. I mean, this whole Diddy thing. It's like there was definitely open chomo stuff going on.
I want to see the list.
I want to see the list.
I'm still waiting on Jeffrey Epstein's list.
Here's the thing.
Didn't Trump say he'll release the list if he got back in the office?
I don't know, did he?
He said he's going to release the JFK files, and I think he said he's going to release the
I want to know how come
list.
LeBron James hasn't been investigated.
He was at the Diddy parties.
He's on video talking about ain't no party but like a Diddy party. He's on, that video's been going around. Why has that not been?
He maybe just came in and said hello and left. I don't know. You don't know the extensiveness of his
there was
participation at these parties.
That knew a lot of things that, you know what I'm saying? Like, of all the people that you hear about that went to these parties, you can't tell me that, nobody had the nuts to stand up and say something. Nobody had the balls to say, hey, what's happening here is not okay.
I don't know. Some people morals.
What do you think about his power? He probably is like a mob boss in a way.
I would think, sure. Yeah, he probably is like a mob boss when it comes to that world. Whatever that world is, the world of entertainers, I guess. But some of them clearly enjoyed it. Old LeBron had a big old smile on his face. Ain't no party like a Diddy party.
No party like a Diddy party.
Right then. I just,
I'm just waiting on, is it going to be released? The footage, the list?
I want to know, yeah. And Jeffrey Epstein is another. It's like,
Epstein.
Okay, he hung himself, with this. It's like, you can't believe anything they say.
The powers that be, man. It's the messed up people in power.
Some messed up people in power. Remember when we had a conversation about I should run for office? And I said, no, I'm not the one.
Uh-huh.
Now you know why. Because I know that there's a piece inside of my brain that would lose my damn mind.
Oh.
I need somebody keeping me in check. My wife is that for me now.
The checks and balances.
There's checks and balances. Yeah. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I would be corrupt.
You'd be corrupt.
Oh, yeah. Maybe not now that I'm older, maybe, but I sure am glad I didn't.
I mean, it's hard to. I mean, I would say this. I think corporations run America. America is a business.
For sure.
All of America is a business.
For sure.
And corporations are what run America. I think the faces we see are just a facade. You know what I'm saying? Those, you got lobbyists. You got all these corporations got all these politicians, lobbyists,
PAC funds,
PAC funds. And I mean, okay, hey, I'd throw you $1 million if you even just put this up for vote.
Right.
Okay.
Just see what happens.
You wanna
if you made $100 million that year,
nuclear waste into a lake that no one even cares about. Okay.
Let's see how it goes. If it doesn't go, okay, I got another $1 million.
Hey, for whoever didn't get the vote.
So would we be better off without the corporations?
I guess the question we got to ask: do capitalism work long term?
Oh, that's a much bigger question.
And I would say no. Because look at. I mean,
but capitalism
we got
doesn't
a lot
necessarily
of examples
mean corporations.
of capitalism not working. The Roman Empire, capitalistic societies. You know what I'm saying? That they just don't work. And I think we're getting to that point in our capitalist society where we're starting to realize it doesn't work for everyone. Because
maybe on the long term,
people more homeless than ever. People more hungry than ever.
I don't know about more than ever.
I would say so, Shane.
More than ever since when? Since the 20s?
Since now. You go to all these major cities. Homelessness is rampant.
Yeah, but in the 20s and 10s and late 1800s.
You had a place to stay, though.
Maybe, but you had a shack over your...
Even if it was a shack, you at least had a place to stay.
And there was no grocery store down the road to go to. You had to grow your food if you got any. And
your
kill
place
your
to stay is on the side of the road now.
You
taking,
Yeah,
number one, number two on the corner right now.
I do think the corporate model that we use is not going to be sustainable.
It's not sustainable. It's going
maybe it is not. Because I do think that it's you've talked about it and compared it to slavery.
It's paid slavery.
Paid slavery.
But then you end up just.
Of course, slavery ended up is not a sustainable.
You can almost say that everyone's living. So if you live in paycheck to paycheck, you're basically giving everything you make away.
Just to live.
You're not even being able to get ahead.
And what's the socialist motto? From each according to their needs, to each according to their needs, from each according to their abilities. So yeah, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, then
and they
all
say
of your
you look at statistics.
I
want to say it's up in the 75-80% of people
that's
living
an interesting way to look at
paycheck to paycheck. So you're basically working for free. Just to live. So let's say I was living on this plantation. I don't got to pay to live. I'm just working for free basically anyway.
I think a lot of people would make the argument that.
Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
It makes perfect sense, I think. To me, let me repeat it back and make sure I understand.
Repeat it how it is rotating in your
I think what you're saying is that working paycheck to paycheck is essentially the same thing as socialism, not communism, as socialism,
Not communism,
which says that everybody puts everything they have into one pile and then it's distributed equally or according to needs to each person.
but it's not distributed equally in capitalism. Nothing's distributed equally here.
Nothing's distributed equally in socialism either.
I think last podcast we said that 10% controls 90% of the wealth in America.
It's probably smaller than 10%, I would think.
And it probably is smaller than 10%.
But I think I see your analogy, and I think it's a good one. I think a lot of people would also point to the standard of living that we have today versus, say, 100 years ago, 150 years ago, 200 years ago. You know, people on the street have cell phones.
The bum has a cell phone.
The people living in the projects are often overweight. Now, that's due more to a poor diet than it is to, but they have enough food to be overweight.
And they get food stamps, though.
Sure.
You know the people at the supermarket who's on food stamps.
For sure, yeah. But I think this is the only time in history where the poorest among us are also the fattest among us.
Hey, I wouldn't argue if they gave me some food stamps.
And I'm not
right about now. I'm not hating on you with the food stamps.
I don't have a problem feeding anybody.
Feeding anybody.
I don't know if Pringles should be on the list. You know, it ought to be like fresh meats and
crab
vegetables
legs and lobster tail.
I don't know. But then you're telling somebody, people say, well, you're telling people what they can and can't eat. No, you're not. You're just saying what we will as a society pay for or not.
Look,
if you want more.
I love to change the world, but I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
I know the route we're going, it doesn't work. It's not going to be sustainable. We go a few more generations.
I also think the humankind is cyclic. We go through cycles.
Correct.
We go through cycles, no matter what the
ebbs and flows.
I think we're all looking for the perfect way to organize society, and I just don't think that exists. I think we're going to have ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
And I think again, we talked about strong men creating easy times,
good times or easy times. Yeah.
Easy times create weak men. Weak men create tough times.
Tough times. Yes.
Tough times create strong men and women. And I think that cycle is as natural as the tides. I don't think I think it's as unavoidable, and I don't know that we would want to, because even in a forest, you need a fire every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
And humankind needs to be purged every now and then, too.
The rebirth.
The reorganization, According to your beliefs, and I think you have a good possibility of being right, the earth has been through several different civilizations that have been completely wiped out and a new one built on top of it.
And a new one built right on top.
And if that's correct, well, then that's just seems to me like the natural purging of an invasive species.
Mm-hmm. An invasive species. The humankind.
Q, we've been talking for a long time.
Yes, sir, we have.
Man, I got so many stories I want to tell.
Me too.
It's been a while, though. Nobody's still listening at this point. But if you are, you're about to hear some words of wisdom from Q the Messenger. Take it, my friend.
I guess we can...
the newest father in the room.
The newest father.
I'm sure you've had time in philosophical and intellectual thought over the last week.
Not so much, but...
I've been drunk every night, y'all.
Just having this conversation, I think I'll be... We just got off the topic of capitalism. So to kind of stay in that vein, I'll be remiss if I don't say or preference that I'm a firm believer in capitalism.
Sure.
Especially if it's working for me. I would also say that we in America. America's a corporation. America has something to sell to you every day. America does.
Every day.
Every day. So for you to get ahead in America, you need to have something to sell back to it. And when I say it, I'm talking about the people of America. What can we sell every day to someone? Can we sell this podcast to people every day where it's working for us even when we're not working? Can we sell that merch when we got thousands and millions of subscribers? Can we sell these ideas?
Can we sell
these toys? Can we sell this popcorn?
Sure.
Now, how can we get it to the point to where we sell it every day, not just on the weekends or here and there throughout the week?
The very most successful corporations are the ones that diversify. They've got their hands in a lot of different types of things. So when those cycles happen and one thing is good, then They got something from this thing. When that thing dips down, maybe something else they got going is good.
We got something going. Yes, correct.
And that's the point I think we're all here looking to try to do. We're trying to diversify, We've all figured out a base level of sustenance income.
Correct.
To whatever level. We've all figured out that base level. But we've all looked around our lives and said, I would like to be just a bit more, I'd like to have a little bit more wiggle room. Mm-hmm. Or I'd like to have something to pass on to my children. Or I'd like, we've had these conversations. We're fathers. And we think about these things. And so now I think the question for us has become, how do we maintain as much of the lifestyle that we love so much? I think we're very rare among men in the time that we have to spend with our families. Mm-hmm. And I know you all cherish it as much as I do. And so how do we maintain that lifestyle as closely as we can and up our game, as it were? Time to level up, as the young kids say.
Yeah.
And we're all here trying to level up,
Right.
This is not any of us' only side hustle. We all got a little something else going on besides this and besides our main hustle. Mm-hmm. And truth be told, if you dipped into ideas and what have you, we could probably sustain a whole bunch of people for a while. We probably got more stuff going on inside our heads. We could sustain an army of people probably. Mm-hmm. Imagine if you had at your disposal enough people to help carry out all the ideas you have.
Oh, wow. And I come up with new ideas every day.
100%. You know who you'd be? Elon Musk. Think about it. You take a highly intelligent person, and that person at an early age has the resources to be able to explore his creativity, his ideas, his ingenuity, and look what we get. I'm not saying that Elon Musk is all good and everything he says is great or everything he does is great. No, it's not. But listen, this guy made like $2.5 million off of a modified propane tank flamethrower that he built and sold them in like 2 days on the internet. He put them on on not Tesla, one of his other companies, put them on the website. It was a flamethrower that he sold for $499, and the flamethrower was called "This Is Not a Flamethrower." That was the name of the flamethrower. This is not a flamethrower, but it was a damn flamethrower. You can look this up for real. And he sold in like 2 days. He sold like $2 million worth or something.
Wow!
It was a whim. He didn't even mean to do it. It was a joke. He
done got to the point to where his jokes.
He
could turn jokes into
Somebody said, "Oh, that's a joke," and somebody that worked for him.
I could turn jokes.
Made it happen.
A joke into
$2.5 million.
$2.5 million. Elon Musk got something to sell every day.
If one of us wins the lottery, if we invested in a think tank and the three of us sat down and came up with our ideas and talked about them, and then we had the resources to be able to make them happen, wow.
I think another thing, when you get to that point like Elon Musk, you got the resources to fail too.
You do. You can afford to take chances.
You can afford to take chances, and you can afford to fail a lot.
Yeah. You familiar with the Boring Company?
Before you damn hit it,
You familiar with the Boring Company?
No, never heard of him.
He's trying to dig tunnels underneath of L.A. for cars to go in, and the deal is these tunnels are going to operate in a vacuum.
Like a hyper...
Your whole damn car goes into like a cartridge in a tunnel, and then it goes 200 miles an hour across L.A. in a vacuum environment, so there's no friction.
Like the bank tube.
It ain't going to work. Yeah, I guess like the bank tube.
Oh, man, I love to ride something like that.
I don't think it's going to work, but he's put a bunch of money into it. All right, man. Mr. Producer's giving me side eye, stank eye, cut symbols. Time to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you how much we've enjoyed this time. I wish you were here with us, like Pink Floyd.
All right, before we go, are we naming this episode Skip This Episode? Or are we going to try to come up with something better?
I think Skip This Episode is...
I think that might be one that's going to
We're trying to find clickbait titles.
Skip this episode.
Or don't listen to this episode.
And that's going to really make people want to do it.
Yeah. Let's see what happens.
Skip this episode.
Skip this episode.
Let's get out of here.
Fender Chronicles. Peace.
Fender Chronicle. Peace.